Okay, in this problem, we're going to be looking at some limits that utilizes a very, very important limit that we have in calculus. And that is the limit as theta goes to 0, sine theta over theta equals 1. A couple things I want to point out is when you apply this limit, what's inside there needs to match exactly what's there, and what's there needs to be headed towards 0. So that's the things we have to keep in mind when we look at these limits. I'm just going to do these 4 that I've circled. All right, so starting with I, we got the limit as t goes to 0. Well, we're off to a good start because that's going to 0, sine of t over 12t. But that doesn't quite match, right? I need it to be sine of t over t. But I can factor out that 1/12. So the 1/12 can come out. Then we have the limit as t goes to 0 of sine of t over t. There's our special limit, which goes to 1. So 1 times 1/12, and our answer is 1/12. Perfect. All right, let's look at 3, which looks scary and different, but it's not. So we're going to look at the limit as x goes to 0 of tangent x over x. Well, we know we want that sine in there, so let's rewrite tangent in terms of sine over cosine. So sine x over cosine x, and then we have our 1 over x. So we've just converted tangent x into sine over cosine. And then I see that my limit is there. I can see it. I got that cosine. I'm going to move it over and see if that helps me. But I have sine x over x, and then we have 1 over cosine x. And here it's important to remember that as x goes to 0, cosine of x goes to 1. So this thing right here goes to 1. And here's our special limit. That one goes to 1. So our final answer here is 1. All right, let's look at 5. 5. It looks a little different. So here we have the limit as x goes to 2. Already we have some issues. So now we're looking at the sine of x squared minus 6x plus 8 all over x squared minus 6x plus 8. Now notice that does match that. So it's almost our limit, except we need to be headed towards 0. And what needs to be headed towards 0 is that entire expression. But check it out. As x goes to 2, x squared minus 6x plus 8, if you plug in 2, heads to 0. So I can think of this as the limit as x squared minus 6x plus 8 headed towards 0, sine of x squared minus 6x plus 8 over x squared minus 6x plus 8. And now it's precisely that, our special limit. And this goes to 1. All right, let's look at this last one here. 1 minus cosine x over x squared. So we still want that sign in there, but I feel like we have a conjugate situation. So I'm going to, let's rewrite it down here. The limit as x goes to 0, 1 minus cosine x over x squared. Well, we want to get a sign in there, so we're going to multiply by the conjugate. 1 plus cosine x on top and bottom. That's just multiplying by 1. So then the top becomes, limit as x goes to 0, 1 minus cosine squared x all over x squared times 1 plus cosine x. And 1 minus sine squared, 1 minus cosine squared is actually sine squared. Right, that's a Pythagorean identity. So now we have sine squared x over x squared. And then we have times 1 over 1 plus cosine of x. Again, as x goes to 0, this goes to 1. So this piece goes to 1/2. And notice this is our limit, but squared, right? Sine x over x squared. So this piece right there also goes to 1. This goes towards 1/2. Final answer.